The mystery around Zoe Slater's children has finally been solved in the early EastEnders drop on BBC iPlayer. Zoe's comeback has been one shock after another. When she returned in a fragile state, moving in with cousin Stacey Slater, while Alfie Moon tried desperately to reunite her with Cat Moon, it set off a chain of twists and surprises. Even before setting foot back in Walford, Zoe attempted to squeeze money from Alfie, saying she was in debt to Spanish loan sharks after first nicking Stacey's bank card. She later fled to Barcelona, sending Alfie chasing after her, but it was her younger brother Tommy Moon who eventually convinced her to come back to Albert Square. Once back, Zoe's emotional reunion with Cat was cut short when she was accidentally shot during a struggle between Ravi Gulati and Jack Branning. Through a series of flashbacks, viewers learned that back in 2006, Zoe had given birth to twins. Heartbreakingly, the baby girl was stillborn, while Zoe put the baby boy up for adoption straight after delivery. She later admitted to Stacey that she had hired shady investigator Greg Dolan and wasn't sure if she had ended up killing him. Determined to find answers, Stacey dragged Zoe along on a watch outside Greg's home. Their fears were settled when Greg appeared alive, though his rage at seeing them only stirred a desire for revenge. Holding the Slater girls hostage, Greg demanded cash, but Tommy, Ravi and Jack intervened just in time, allowing the family to escape with little harm. During the ordeal, Zoe's secret about her lost twins came to light. After a near confrontation with Sharon Watts, Zoe began to feel ready to track down her son again, but Alfie and Stacey urged Cat not to hand over money unless Zoe was fully honest. With Cat keeping her distance, and Vicki Fowler furious after being questioned by Sharon over a loan, tensions flared when Zoe and Vicki ran into each other in the square. Hurling insults back and forth, Vicki lost her temper and punched Zoe hard in the face. A fierce fight broke out before Anthony Truman and Zach Hudson pulled them apart, though Zach ended up with a bloodied nose. When Sharon heard about the brawl, she stormed to the Queen Vic to deal with Zoe once and for all. Furious that Zoe had broken their truce to avoid each other, Sharon came ready for a fight, with Vicki by her side to watch the drama unfold. At the Vic, battle lines were drawn as Cat backed Zoe, while Sharon was supported by Vicki. As the two women clashed, Zoe threw harsh digs about Sharon's adoptive father, Den Watts. When Sharon accused Zoe of only coming back for money, Zoe dropped a bombshell about her children. Rising to her feet and taunting Sharon, Zoe delivered the shocking reveal. Her twins' father was none other than her ex and Sharon's late husband, Dennis Rickman. As Zoe smirked and Sharon stood stunned, the familiar doof-doof kicked in to close the episode. The twist left viewers stunned and questioning what's next. How will Sharon handle the revelation? What will this mean for Zoe's ties with the Slaters? And could Zoe be lying? We'll find out in the next episode. See you back here to dissect it all. EastEnders icon Steve McFadden teases heartbreaking Christmas for Phil Mitchell. After the collapse of his marriage to Kat, Phil Mitchell was left deeply alone, cutting himself off from those around him as his mental health declined. The festive season only worsened his downward spiral. Isolation soon pushed Phil into psychosis and severe depression, ending in a tragic suicide attempt. Amidst the bleakness, a glimmer of hope appeared when he reconnected with old pal Nigel Bates. Their friendship reignited as Phil supported Nigel through his own battle with dementia. Following the attempt on his life, Phil spent a period in psychiatric care. Once on the road to recovery, he shifted his attention to Nigel, who was facing many of the same struggles Phil had endured. When Nigel tried to end his life due to his dementia, Phil intervened, saving him and stepping up as his carer. The pair made a pact to stick together until the end. Life since has been far from smooth. Nigel's illness continues to progress, and tension between Phil and Nigel's wife Julie has grown as they disagree over what is best for him. Speaking recently, actor Steve McFadden revealed that Christmas will bring yet more pain for his character. Talking to the Daily Star, Steve explained, "There's more sadness ahead for Phil. That's what's coming. This Christmas may not be very merry." McFadden, who recently scooped the NTA award for serial drama performance, has been praised widely for his portrayal of Phil's mental health journey. His emotional acceptance speech sparked fears among some fans that he was preparing to bow out of the soap, but Steve was quick to reassure them. "I'm not going anywhere," he confirmed. "When you're in a reflective mood, it can sound like you're leaving, but I'm not. It was genuine feeling. And when your friends and colleagues are kind to you, it really hits home." Messages of support quickly followed. Tina Price said, "Well deserved, Steve. I'm over the moon for you." May Noblet added, "Fantastic actor, long overdue recognition." Dave Plum joked, "His acting is so convincing, I genuinely believed Phil was a real bloke." Meanwhile, Rhoda McLeod guest wrote, "Brilliant performance. You're a truly gifted actor." EastEnders favourite John Partridge recalls fears over Christian and Syed's iconic romance. John Partridge has opened up about the enduring impact of Christian Clark and Syed Masood's love story, admitting bosses once worried it could spark backlash. The actor shared his thoughts on Soap Scoop, Inside Soap's weekly podcast that drops new star interviews every Tuesday. Back in 2009, the BBC soap launched one of its most memorable plots, following Christian's relationship with newcomer Syed. The storyline explored Syed's struggle to choose love over family expectations and the challenges he faced as a Muslim man in a same-sex relationship. He added that the story's heart wasn't just about sexuality, but about love against the odds. It became a tale about two people in an impossible situation. Anyone can relate to that, whatever your background. Falling for someone your parents don't approve of, or someone who doesn't look right for you on paper, that's universal. Behind the scenes, though, producers were cautious. Telling a gay romance at 7:30 in the evening was considered risky, John revealed. They thought Mark Elliott, who played Syed, and I would be torn apart for it. We were even briefed by police and had officers at our doors at first, just in case. But the reaction was the complete opposite of what they expected. Instead of outrage, fans embraced Cryad, celebrating when Christian and Syed tied the knot before leaving Walford to start afresh in America. John admits it could easily have turned out differently. "When I auditioned for Christian, they said, 'You read terribly, but you are the character.' They told me if the script disappeared and I just spoke, I was exactly who they were after." More than a decade later, John still treasures his time on the soap. "People often ask if I'm tired of talking about EastEnders. The answer is no, I love it. Christian remains a huge part of me. That story lit the spark for a fandom that still means the world. I'll always be grateful." Away from Walford, John is currently performing alongside ex-Coronation Street actress Tracy Bennett in The Code, a stage play set in 1930s Hollywood exploring hidden sexuality. EastEnders airs Mondays to Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One and BBC iPlayer.